Most of you aren't subscribed. Make sure to domain expand the subscribe button, as it helps out the channel. Without further ado, following Yuji Itadori, we see him try to check up on his ill grandpa, but his gramps clearly wants Yuji to prioritize his school life over worrying about his elders. Elsewhere, Megumi Itadori, a fellow student, is seen visiting a location at night, but upon searching for a cursed item, he gets no luck, stating he cannot cease his search until he finds it. The next day, Sasaki and Iguchi both sit with Yuji, all playing a scary game, only to be interrupted by the student council president. Having made aware of Yuji and his club members not using school funds properly, the president demands that the three disband immediately. Attempting to prove the student president wrong, Sasaki brings up an incident previously, involving the reason of the school's rugby players being sick, and blaming it on the curses that Yuji and gang have discovered. Halting the topic, the president states that blood-sucking ticks were the cause of the misadventure from the athletes. Additionally, Yuji is apparently wanted by the sports teacher, stating that he wants Yuji join his sports team, and he will leave Yuji alone if he can defeat him. With Yuji accepting his offer, the teacher tosses a shot put 15 meters, flexing and assuming that Yuji is inferior to him. But as Yuji tosses the metal ball across the yard, with insane strength, Megumi along with other students are shocked. Realizing that he has to meet his gramps, Yuji rushes past Megumi, which alerts Megumi, as he senses an evil presence within Yuji. Having arrived late, Yuji apologizes, but his gramps could care less, reprimanding Yuji for showing up, and not spending time with others his own age. Turning away from Yuji, his gramps demand that Yuji try to find his own path in the future, and to try to surround himself with people that he can trust. Just like having finished filling up the necessary forms at the hospital, Yuji begins to lament on his time with his gramps, but is suddenly interrupted by Megumi. Having a word with Yuji, Megumi asks if Yuji had found a supposedly dangerous cursed item. Revealing that he had stumbled upon it, Yuji questions why Megumi is talking about curses, as if they were tangible objects. Uttering that curses do indeed exist, and that they are manifested through the negative emotions of humans, and that the item in particular acts like a seal, protecting those in the school. Yugi reveals that his friends are in possession of the item, which alerts Megumi. Back at the school, we see Sasaki tampering with the cursed item, slowly unwrapping the material wrapped around the item. Revealed to be a finger, the two are suddenly enshrouded in darkness, as a creature sneaks up on them. As Yuji and Megumi rush to the school, Megumi heads in, demanding Yuji wait outside. Seeing Iguchi already cursed, and Sasaki in danger, Megumi summons a pair of dogs. The entire time, Yuji thinks about how powerless he is, wanting to make a difference. Attempting to reach Sasaki, Megumi realizes he won't reach her in time, but Yuji catches the creature off guard, breaking through a window and bringing Sasaki to safety. Surprised with Yuji's resolve, Megumi lets his dogs devour the curse, as Megumi applauds Yuji. Before the two are able to continue chatting, a monstrous creature melts through the roof, blowing Yuji back, whilst grabbing a hold of Megumi. Throwing Megumi onto the school's roof, the creature attempts to slaughter Megumi, but Yuji intervenes. Knowing he's no match for the creature, Yuji swallows the cursed item, all whilst Megumi cries for Yuji to not. Transforming, Yuji is taken over by Sakuna, the owner of the cursed finger, easily dispatching the curse, and jumping in. Seeing Yuji as a curse, Megumi ponders if he should kill Yuji, but it only gets complicated when Yuji manages to take back control of his body. Suddenly Gojo, Megumi's teacher, arrives, snapping pics of Megumi's beaten-up state. Having done some shopping, Gojo had stopped by, to retrieve the cursed item, but was informed that Yuji had swallowed Sakuna's finger. Realizing that Yuji is able to swap back and forth with Sakuna, Gojo asks to speak with Sakuna for 10 seconds, and to not worry, as he's the strongest. As Gojo tells Megumi about the souvenirs he had bought, Sakuna sneaks up on Gojo, but Gojo flexes by sitting on the defenseless Sakuna. Continuing the onslaught, Sakuna swipes at Gojo, but Gojo parries each one, choosing to finally launch Sakuna back. Happy to see Gojo's strength, Sakuna retaliates with his own powerful punch, but Gojo is unscathed. With 10 seconds up, Yuji takes back control of his body. Impressed, Gojo puts Yuji to sleep, promising Megumi to take care of Yuji, as he must report Yuji to the higher-ups. Waking up in a room covered in talisman, Yuji is questioned by Satoru Gojo, introducing himself as a teacher at Jujutsu Tech. Realizing that he is tied up, Yuji learns that he is to be executed, but because of Gojo, the execution has been suspended. Additionally, Yuji learns that Sakuna is the most powerful curse in history, having 4 arms. Sakuna has 19 other fingers, apart from the one Yuji had swallowed. Giving Yuji options, Gojo asks for Yuji to search for all of Sakuna's fingers, or he can be executed now. Thinking about the options, Yuji visits Sasaki and Igari, comforting Sasaki, as he knows that Sasaki shouldn't be too hard on herself, for Igari's injuries. Talking to Gojo, Yuji learns that getting involved with curses will be a tough road, but Yuji realizes that if he can get stronger and protect the ones he cares about, he will. Given another of Sakuna's fingers, Yuji gulps down the item, almost giving control to Sakuna. But before Gojo attacks, he realizes that Yuji is still in control, and that he's glad to see that Yuji is on board with collecting all of Sakuna's fingers. Seeing as Megumi is patched up, Yuji is forced to enroll into Jujutsu Technical High School, as the 3rd student, alongside Megumi. Touring the school with Gojo, Yuji learns that Sakuna is indeed an ancient curse that took hundreds of sorcerers in the past to seal away. Curious if Gojo could fight a fully awakened Sakuna, Gojo proudly claims that he would win, even against the most powerful curse in history. Visiting Principal Masamichi, Yuji is shocked to see Masamichi surrounded by stuffed toys. Questioning Yuji's reason for attending his school, Yuji states that he wants to fulfill his gramps' wishes, and to help save people no matter what. Unsatisfied with Yuji's selfless answer, Masamichi sends one of his dolls after Yuji. Having infused his doll with cursed energy, the principal is able to give the creature life, sending it to continuously attack Yuji, until he gives a different answer. Hearing Yuji continue to mention his gramps, the principal makes Yuji realize that he must develop his own character, in order to not have any regrets, as many sorcerers tend to die, regretting their existence. Changing his answer, Yuji states that he is the only one able to keep Sakuna under control, and that seeing people around him injured is not something he can stand to watch. Accepting this response, Masamichi welcomes Yuji to Jujutsu High. Showing Yuji his new room, Gojo offers to train Yuji, but first they visit Megumi, who's Yuji's neighbor. Before Yuji and Megumi can chat, Gojo mentions that they'll be picking up their 3rd and final fellow student. Thanks for watching.